What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my live stream tonight. As you probably could recall, I did another live stream previously where I was talking about making friends as an adult. So I'm here again, and it's pretty much like a continuation. Under different circumstances, I have some different panelists this time. I did want to get some of the old panelists to join the conversation, but that didn't work out. That's never here or there. I do have a panelist in the back right now. But yeah, I'm still at the same persuasion that it's difficult or it's more difficult to form good friendships or friendships as an adult. Yeah, so it's just based on the environment. I have made some pretty decent friends as an adult that have been long standing. Um, to think of it, actually, I haven't really, I wouldn't say that I really have any, do I have any childhood friends? See, that's the thing too. Sometimes I get a little too carried away with calling people my friends. It's so you have associates, then you have friends. So I have more associates than I have friends, but I do have some really good, what I would consider friends now. So yeah, I would say with maturity it comes a better knowledge of who's really for you and who's not for you. So, but yeah, I would still say it's difficult. Like just approaching someone off the street, and you got to get through those barriers. People are kind of weirded out anyway in today's society, especially if you live in an urban area. People are just trying to go from where they're going. Whether it's on public transit, meeting someone at a coffee shop, just saying hello, goodbye. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. All right, let me see. Um, well, one of the panelists is here now, so I'm gonna bring him on. You guys probably already know him. It's Buka. All right. Hello, Buka. Buka. Come on. I sent you something. Put you something in the private chat. But yeah, speaking of that, Buka is a friend of mine. I would consider him a friend. I met him through YouTube. We actually, it's funny because not to tell too much information, but I actually haven't even met him in person. But you know, it's a YouTube thingy. So he's a fellow YouTuber, and I think I've known him for about a year now. So it's just like I say, it's the commonality there. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I know like one of my friends that was up here the last time, he was saying that he actually made a good friend. Well, he's a different animal in my opinion, but he was saying he made a really good friend playing video games. He actually met up with the person and it was like they clicked, like they had known each other for years. So yeah, that's that. So let me bring on Buka.
Can you hear me?
Hear me? Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay. Hello, guys. How are you guys? Greetings to everybody, and I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah. All right, I'm glad that you are here.
Yes.
All right, so let me see. So we don't have anybody in right now, but it's more of a replay. People watch this on the replay. I'll timestamp some stuff. But I'm not sure if you heard what I was talking about, and I'm not sure if you saw my most recent video up here, live stream, where I was basically at persuasion that it's harder to make friends as an adult. I had two panelists that came on. One Both of my friends, both of them are good friends of mine. One was to the persuasion that it's easier to make friends, and then the other one was at the persuasion that it was harder to make friends as an adult.
Okay.
Do you have any opinions about that
I'm neutral
based
on
on
that.
your experience?
I'm neutral on that. I don't think it's easier, nor do I think it's harder. Uh,
Hmm.
I, I, however, I do think that because if you want to make friends, you'll make friends. However, I do think that is it necessary to have more friends? Again, I'm also split there. Yes and no. If you want to live long, you have to continuously make friends. Because as people die in your life, you need to be able to replace them and have a reason to live for. However, should you be out there making friends? The reason why I say no is because um, you should be in a new stage of your life, which really includes um, creating a family, and through that family, you'll have a different type of friends, and so that's why I'm very selective of saying yes, because I think as you progress in life, the type of friends you have also progresses. So for the people who say no, it's hard to make friends, it's most likely because they're still stuck in that high school mentality or college mentality. Because after you leave college, if you did attend, that was the last place where you really got a wide range and variety, same thing, sorry. But you got a wide variety and a volume of new people and just people in general. And so after that, yeah, it's gonna get very hard because your friends are most likely going to become your work friends. And so that's when you get into that kind of conversation, that's when I say, no, you should not be out there looking to make friends, you know? And you should, at this point, already have made a friend, which is your husband and or your wife, and then your children. And from there, you create new friends through church and community based on the family.
Okay, that's a nice perspective. Um, I think so. Um, I know I talked about it in the last live stream where people it's basically your environment, and you alluded to that as well. But I honestly think even if you do make friends as an adult, um, will the friendship last? Because speaking, you also mentioned families. Usually around, like I look at in your not even your late 20s, your early 20s, mid 20s, or we can say, let's say 22. Let's give that ballpark number. That's when some people are like, just graduating from college. And shout out to the viewer out there. Uh, if you want to join the chat, join the live stream, just let me know. I'll drop a link in the description. But yeah, let's say 22 as a ballpark number. People are usually graduating from school. Um, they may have served one term in the military or something like that. Um, but yeah, that's when you kind of get a divergence out. Like if people go by the standard way of life in America, where they start a family. People that you may have been close to, they might distance themselves because for whatever reason. It could be because they have too many obligations on their back or whatever, or it's just a difference, you know,
Well,
from what I
then,
have and what I have experienced.
well, then, did you define what friendship is in your last life?
That's a
What
good
is a
question. No,
friend?
we really didn't. We really we just briefly talked about it. I think it was implied. We had an implied definition of what a friend was.
Well, could you do a
Based
quick
on my
Google?
relationship with the panelists.
Hmm?
Yeah, what did she say?
Could you do a quick Google and tell us what a friend is based on Google?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we can look that up.
Because when you say, will the friendship last? Yes, there are friendships where you end up um, having some conflict, but friends are always created because of mutual, or something about you two or three or so is mutual. And so whenever that leaves, is that friendship able to, so the friendship surviving is really based on it being able to adapt and creating a new mutual relationship that keeps you two together. Snoop Dogg, if you
Yeah.
guys want to YouTube it in the future, Snoop Dogg, he made a video where he's talking about closing the gap. And what closing the gap means is as you progress in your life, let's say you become more successful and work like monetarily, or your success may be family, you becoming successful by having a family. Closing the gap really needs to be your old friends catching up to you, not you falling back to them. And so once that gap increases to the point where that person isn't even in the proximity, then yes, the friendship doesn't last. In fact, I have a friendship. It's probably like 18 years now, and at this point, it's just like a how do you say it? It's like a having like the Statue of Liberty, right? Statue of Liberty is 300 plus years old, and from time to time you go by and you remark, "Wow, what a statue!" But at this point, it's really an awe of wow. I've known a human being for 18 years, you know, and I can still call this person. Because remember, 15, 20 years ago, when we were literally in kindergarten, if you lost contact of a friend or a person, you couldn't slide into their DMs or shoot them a Facebook message. You couldn't call them. You might be able to find them years later in the yellow books, but you virtually lost contact. For example, if you had a girlfriend and she broke up with you and she moved to another town, or you went to military school or to the military, you'll never ever see her ever again, except for when you saw her in Idaho or Nebraska, and you're just like, "Whoa, I know you." Uh, you have a higher chance of either seeing her on To Catch a Predator by Chris Hansen or True Crimes than ever see her ever again. So,
Yeah.
were you able to find anything for the definition of friendship?
Yeah, so it was kind of basically what you was talking about. So it's basically a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. So yeah,
Because
so that's another thing. So I always was told by some of the elders in my family, you can have friends, but most of your so-called friends are indeed associates. So basically, associates are sort of like, I'm giving my definition, and what they implied is basically somebody that you know, but it's not somebody that you're necessarily telling your deepest secrets to.
or you shouldn't.
You might
Yeah,
see each other on passing. Say again.
somebody is you shouldn't. You should be aware not to
Yeah,
tell
but
your deepest
I mean,
secret.
yeah, true. But like I have a really good friend. We're pretty open, I would say, and I consider him a really good friend. Like I've told him some stuff about me. He told me some stuff about him, and it was just like, oh man, this is deep. But I wouldn't do that with somebody that I just met, or even if I've known them for a while. Like for instance, I know this other person. I've known him for a while. We've actually hung out, but I wouldn't necessarily consider him a friend.
Mhm.
Like a true friend. I would consider him an associate, somebody that I'm cordial with, but not somebody that I would, I wouldn't let him stay at my house for an extended period of time or whatever. It would have to be some collateral or something, if that makes any sense. I'm
That
just
makes
using that as an
sense.
example. Yeah. So
Well, then
it's and then
I was gonna.
it's like two. Yeah.
I'm listening.
Yeah, and it's like too. I like a friend of mine now is somebody that I can actually go with somewhere. We're on the same frequency. Well, that's never here or there either. But it's like somebody that I would invite to go with me somewhere, or um, yeah, because not necessarily gonna be on the same frequency, but like the fact that I would consider you that's how intimate or quote unquote intimate that is for me to consider you a friend.
So I was gonna say, then what's the definition between family and friend? But let's take this moment to bring up this old quote, and I ask this to people all the time. Have you ever, or it's not? It's not a quote. It's a saying. It's an American saying that I've ever heard. So it's the saying is, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer.
I've
And
heard of that.
that's exactly what you're describing here. So do you understand what that means? And if you do, what do you think it means?
From what you're saying and from what I have heard, like the old that I've heard that all my life. Um, I don't agree with that. I feel that if someone is your enemy, you should keep them at a good distance from you. Somebody that you call your friend, you should be able to have them in close proximity to you, or you almost want to bombard them with your presence. But yeah, keeping your enemies close and your friends, no, keeping your friends close and your enemies closer. So basically, that's basically saying, I guess, to be aware of who you call your friend, be selective,
But which
and
one should you
that's
be
what
aware of?
you say again.
Which one should you be aware of?
Well, you already know who your enemy is, so I mean, you want to also know who your friends are too.
And why is that?
I mean, because and that goes back to like how I was saying with being having an associate, distinguishing between a friend and an associate. Because like you could be dumbfounded. I know we talked about in the last live stream, and we'll focus on this one, but it goes back hand in hand. Because we was actually using a scenario where we had it was a platonic relationship between a male and a female, and in the case of that situation, you had an uneven dynamic where one was getting more than what they received, or it was implied that that was going to get like that. So, of course, like it wasn't any benefits with it, but you were, technically friends. Um, so we talked about that, and yeah, I would say if it's let's say it's two guys, and you could it's still the same thing. Somebody could still be in your presence or because of proximity, because they might see something of value that you have, or it could be any variety of reasons, and then it could be implied that you think that they're your friends, but in reality they don't feel the same way. It's not a reciprocated relationship. Yeah, so
Uh,
I think
So,
it.
so,
I think
so,
when you talk about that, I think it deals with reciprocation, but then at the same time, no one really thinks the same. So I really don't know outside of what I just said that could further explain that.
so I'm wondering, then why did you say that when you meet somebody, right, and you don't really know them, that you're aware of what you say or don't say? No.
I said that.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah, no bad. Yeah, you
So
said that when you meet somebody, you're aware of like how much you tell them.
no, 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 no. I was saying that a friend is somebody that I like. But the difference between like an associate and a friend, like I was talking about, would be somebody. It'll be the difference between somebody that I would. A friend would be somebody that I would tell maybe not my deepest, darkest secret, because I do have. I mean, I guess I would in theory, but I have a certain level of privacy about myself, so I necessarily wouldn't do that. But somebody that I would instill to tell them about, like, be vulnerable with, in other words. An associate, I wouldn't necessarily do that at all. So, but if you're talking about meeting somebody off the street, if I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry, brother. No, I'm just trying to think of how to bring it all together. Um, so yeah, so yeah, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. From my
Okay,
perspective, like,
so
why would somebody keep an enemy closer than their friend? You know?
yeah, yeah, exactly. If you already know who your enemies are, why would you want to have them there in your presence? Uh, you want
But
to be
it's saying you
surrounded by
should keep your
positivity.
friend closer. It's saying you should keep
Okay,
your enemy closer.
so you believe that you should keep your enemies closer?
It's not that I believe I should keep my enemies closer. It's the saying. It says keep your friends closer and your enemies closer. So I'm trying to figure out why would they say keep your enemies closer.
Oh yeah, it's probably some Anglo-Saxon saying. A lot of that's another topic. I want to do something about that because a lot of stuff. Like African American vernacular. I know this is totally off topic, but the stuff that we say, especially because you can relate because you're from the South. Um, a lot of stuff that's these so-called wives' tales and stuff. They do have a deeper meaning, but it's the origin sometimes can be very puzzling and entertaining.
So this is what I think. Keep your friends closer, enemies closer. You just like you said, when you meet somebody new, right? You know what to say and what not to say. You know you should not tell them your most intricate secrets. What keeps you alive? What keeps you going? What could actually impact your livelihood or whatnot, right? So
Mhm.
keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. We're talking about, let's say physically, right? Let's say you're sitting, like you go to a party, and here's your friend. Your friend's across the room, but that saying is saying you see your friend across the room, but
Hold on one second. Hold on one
or let's
second.
say you're at work. Let's say you're at work. You have a work.
You had cut off.
Okay.
Hold on. You had cut off for a moment. It was
Okay.
just for about maybe like 5 seconds. So can you go back to the time
Okay.
when you were saying if you have somebody across the room or something at a club or
Yeah.
something? You didn't say that, but
So I was saying, like, let's say you went to and across the room. That saying is
Mhm.
saying don't go over there and hang out with your friend. That saying is stand there with your enemies. But that's not a good example. The better example is because we're talking about friends, right? And at this age,
Hey,
20 minutes ago.
Buka.
Now you're at work.
Yeah,
We're in the working era, like in our life
yeah.
stage in our life. So this saying is saying you have a work friend at work. Don't go over there. Instead, stand by that one coworker you hate. That's what that saying is trying to tell you. It's saying because when you go over there to your coworker, you're gonna hee hee ha ha. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna talk. You're gonna be comfortable. Instead, stay here by the coworker you know is a snitch, that you know is a goody two shoes, is always trying to show off so he can be look better than you at work. That you know if you're late, they're gonna be like, hey, Jeff Buka was late. You know, it's saying hang out with that guy. It's saying chill with that guy. And so the reason why that saying is so important is that keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer means you know to keep your mouth closed around your enemies. If you open your mouth around your friends and you do it long enough, sooner or later, time will come when you two no longer are friends and you start to have some distance and your friendship fades or evolves. Well, when it finally does evolve, you're gonna find out that that friend is the worst enemy of your life. And, and this happened actually multiple times now. Not to say, I won't say the worst enemy of my life, but it's happened so many times now where when I was younger, I had some good, like, I'm thinking of one girl right now. When
And
you saw her and
I
I,
would say I would say it's more for philosophical thing versus literal, like literally keeping your friends close. But I see what you're saying. But
Well, I would
I
say
would
it
say
is
it's more
literal because
okay.
because when you come to work, you didn't come to play. You came to do your work. So if you keep hanging out with these people that you're gonna be keep playing with, your supervisor's gonna notice. But you sit around the person that makes you uncomfortable, and you know you're supposed to be there on time. You get there on time. You're gonna perform better. So it is philosophical, but the reason why it becomes philosophical is because of ideally hundreds, if not thousands, of
Buka.
I just don't understand.
Hold on one second, Buka. Hey, how's your connection?
Can you not hear me well?
No, it cut off like about that. This time it was a little bit longer. It was about like almost 10 seconds.
Really?
How's your connection? Yeah, because you was talking and then midway it went silent, and then we could hear you chopping up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing that.
Yeah.
And because
At
I
least it's
hear
not
myself
echoing.
talking.
Oh,
Yeah,
you hear echo?
yeah, I hear myself talking.
Oh.
But it's okay.
Uh,
Let's just keep trying. So so
okay.
yes, it is philosophical, but philosophy is born out of hundreds of years, if not thousands, of practical, literal things happening. And then somebody finally puts the phenomena into words. And so,
Well,
if
yeah, you
you
was
are,
definitely dropping some gems when you was talking about. I think before you had cut off, you was saying one of your you was talking about how one of your good friends became one of your worst enemy in essence,
yes,
right?
yes. So, if you go to work and you hang out with your buddy, you two are gonna chit chat and have fun. You're gonna feel the day's gonna go by well, which is great when you're working a job that is unbearable. You know, like a very manual, hard labor job. A friend makes the day go by fast. But
Yeah.
the thing is, everything has this drawback. And what's gonna happen is your supervisor is gonna notice you're always slacking off, or you're coming in late, or whatever the case is. You're always talking. However, if you sit by that person who is unbearable and you don't like them, you're gonna be more productive. I mean, to a certain extent, obviously. So like in my situation, right? And this has happened countless times now, where you over exchange or over talk. You know what I mean? And particularly for this one situation that is in my heart right now, in my mind. This lady and I were the bestest of friends. We were joking and hee hee and ha ha all the time, and everybody was loved our relationship, and we could make the whole room laugh, you know. And for example, we would always after the big because we were interns at the time, so after the big bosses like the vice president would have meetings and lunch, their meetings always have food. So we would come after behind them and grab some food, right? And so if I didn't give the alarm that there's food, she would give the alarm. You know, one person would look out while the other person grabbed the food for everybody. So we had such a great relationship. Now, one thing happened, and after that, she never spoke to me ever again. And so what actually happened, interesting enough, was about the Bill Cosby thing. I didn't know anything about what was going on with the Bill Cosby situation, but I just couldn't believe it. So all I said to her was, you know, this is a lot for us to be throwing him under the bus and assuming he did all these things. I personally can't see myself or any human being having done all that to 50 women, you know. That's a lot of women to be doing and not have been caught up. So it just didn't make sense in my mind, but I never even put into words to that level. I just told her this is just a lot to, really believe. And because I spoke up and disagree with her, I didn't even go into debating. I didn't even go into debating with her. I just spoke up and disagree with her. She, till this day, has not said a single word to me. She didn't hurt my job or nothing, but she definitely broke my heart. And I've
Okay.
even
I'm sorry.
tried to, huh?
I'm sorry for laughing, but that's kind of
No,
hilarious.
no. You can laugh because this is a phenomenon we see now in our community, especially when you do speak up, especially like towards a black woman and you disagree. Yeah, you get
Yeah,
thrown under the
dissenting
bus.
opinion. Dissenting
Hmm?
opinion. Yeah, a
Yeah,
dissenting opinion against the status quo.
yeah, you get thrown under the bus. This is very common. So guess what?
Yeah.
That's why when I heard you talk about this kind of conversation, I wanted to be a part of it because I am to the point now where I'm like, yeah, I don't make new friends because I have to vet you to be my friend now. Why? Because I expect you to drop me out of your little group because I'm not. You're not gonna tell me the sky is blue and the earth is round without me having the freedom to maybe think that the earth is flat and at least exploring it. You know, so
Yeah,
I
that's
don't go.
exactly what the other guy was talking about. One of my friends, his name is Tim. He
Yeah.
was talking about, yeah, he usually gives people, he usually vets people, you know, he don't just like, let people become his friends or whatever. He has those defense mechanisms up,
I mean,
you
that is the
know.
beauty of friendship that you two can come together and be friends, like you said, over video games, right? Or over this is my favorite ice cream. But
Yeah.
but as that level grows up, the intimacy, if to say, to use that word, of that friendship grows, you gotta understand that there are certain things that you can talk about and can't talk about. And that friendship does evolve. And that girl, because I let her into my heart and we were good friends, and I thought we were really good friends, it really did impact me when she cut me off. She has literally not said a single word. And our mutual friends, her girlfriends,
Yeah.
told her that she was being too hard on me too. No order.
Now,
Una
did
chalanga.
you give her, yeah,
Did I give her what?
did you disclose with her any of your most deepest dark, were you vulnerable with her? Were you very
No,
vulnerable with her where
you don't have
like
to
she can,
give. You know, no, I didn't give her anything like my social security, but I gave her my happiness and my a place. She held a place in my mind and heart. Like, for example, if she didn't come to work, I would look for her. Sí, señor. You know,
okay.
if she was sick, I would ask for her. You know what I mean? And so you don't have to just tell somebody. You don't have to tell somebody like your social security. But here's what. Okay, I know this is gonna be kind of funny. I hope you chuckle. But let's say a zombie apocalypse happened the week before, and I'm over here risking my life, almost getting chewed up, right? And then I fall into a crowd of zombies, and all she gotta do is reach out and grab my hand, but instead she just runs off. I would never have known that was her mentality until I made that Bill Cosby comment.
Yeah,
You
and
see?
it's funny because it's not funny. It's actually serious. Like, we talked about some stuff with religion before, and I interviewed this Hebrew Israelite guy before. I'm not sure if he's watching or will watch this. Shout out to you. Um, his friend introduced me to him, and he's a Muslim.
Mm.
This guy's a Hebrew Israelite. Even before then, I'm not gonna tell all his stuff, but he's on the Christian side. The friend that introduced me to him, he's on the Muslim side.
Mm.
And the fact that they never had a falling out, as far as I know, they're really good friends. So I think it's the fact that, like, it's those discussions aren't had. But like you
So,
said, you had this discussion with this lady.
so I think
But
every human being, can you still hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Every human being comes with their biases and their so-called standards. When it comes
Uh-huh.
to, and this is what I've come to understand now, by the way, when it comes to black women and black people in general, we do not defend ourselves. And we think, first of all, right? First of all, we are highly religious. That's why I say, especially black women. So when you do something as a rumor that may have gone some against some sort of spiritual or societal or whatever, we punish ourselves the most. We make sure to hold each other absolutely accountable, even if it's just in the rumor phase, you know? And that stems actually from, see, when I was a little boy, I just immigrated to this country. In elementary school, an old black lady, old black woman, grabbed my hand while we were in the line for waiting for our parents to come pick us up. I don't know what I
Yeah.
did or what I was doing, but she grabbed my arm and she said, "Now, boy, you only got one leg to stand on and you stand on it good." And I've always remembered her saying that. And all throughout my life to this day, what she said was advice. In America, in this world that we're living in, because of my skin tone, and also now because of my man, right? Toxic masculinity. Because I'm a black man, I only have one leg. I don't have two legs. So if one leg goes out, that's it. I'm rolling on the ground. And in this country, when you're rolling on the ground, ain't nobody gonna reach down and try to pick you back up. And I intentionally, by the way, because I'm Nigerian, if nobody knows, I intentionally just put in that southern accent. Ain't and that southern swang or whatever you want to call it. Ain't nobody gonna reach out and pick you up. Now that's a guarantee, you know? I mean,
Yeah,
let's
that's
count
true.
it. Bill Cosby.
You even look at.
Hmm?
I mean, you look at like. I even look at the city that I live in now. It's like it's a lot of. I mean, I have one lady. She disagrees with me. She was a coworker of mine. Um, and I probably would need to look at some statistics and stuff, some of the data. But from what I see from my naked eyes, there's a lot more programs out here for women, especially homeless women, than it is for males.
Yes, obviously.
Like I look at these shelters, huh?
It's always been like that. It's always been like that.
Yeah,
Literally, right now, right?
yeah.
If you're a woman with children, you can get Section 8. The way they designed it was that if you're a woman with children, you can get Section 8, government housing. And they would come and check that residence to make sure there was no man there. I think I've said this before in the live. And so if the father of those children were there, he'd have to hide under the bed, hide in the closet. The man is supposed to be the seat of the authority in the home. He's the leader. God gave Adam Moses. He didn't give no woman the Ten Commandments. He gave man that staff of authority. And so here are children looking at their father hiding under a bed while a white man, I'm gonna say white boy because they love calling us boy, when a white boy walks around the house. You know? So who should the children fear? Their father? The father hiding better than they hide when they play hide and seek. Or this random white dude. And then later on, obviously, the government. And then you start to ask questions. Is it my father or is it my mother? Who's the leader? Oh, it's my mother. Because if my mother tells me, sit down or whatever, do this, and my father says, da da da, my mother says, well, you can get out the house. And he can't stay here. So he has to get out the house. You know? And it just trickles down to obviously the shelters. And then, like I rent homes. And the majority of the population are black women and the children. And there are no it's rare to see a man in there. And I'm just gonna take it one step further. I know this is not our original live. And not only do we keep pushing this concept of monogamy, which is not black nor African, then we also practice social polygamy. Jerry Springer, rest his soul, was successful and fed. Like his retirement, his 401k, his retirement plan was all based on you are not the father, you are not the mother, or whatever. You are not the father, you are not the father. These women and men, because I had an ex who I said, I'm open to having two wives. And she tried to speak against me. And I said, doesn't your father practice polygamy? Because her dad has children by 3 different women. That's polygamy. And it's inferior. It's
So this,
inferior to marital polygamy because those women aren't his wives. So it's okay to have a wife and then side women, mistresses. They have no status in society. They have no say in the family. In African society, like in my mom's, where my mom's from, specifically my mother, if my father got her pregnant and she had me and he didn't marry her, then she would no longer be my mother. She would be my cousin because I wouldn't have a say in the home. I would have say with no property. I would have say with no leadership. But because my father married my mother, I can be king in my father's household and I can be king in my mother's household. I don't mean, oh, go king or black king or whatever this new king thing people are talking about. I'm talking about actual title to lead and rule my mother and my father's land. I'm entitled to either one of them. And I am the superior and the oldest cousin in my family's in my grandmother's lineage. And that status means something. So when you come to this country where you have men and women who have 2 or 3 different baby daddies and baby mamas, you don't have anywhere to create a hierarchy and a structure. So there is nobody leading. That's why you got all these people wearing blue and red and purple and green looking like Skittles and shooting each other. You can't have any leadership, so you can't have any progress. You know, and that's the problem. And we're over here talking about when is friendship? I'm going to bring it back to our original conversation, because what we're talking. This all I just said here is why this conversation about friendship and why is it so important. When can you have all is important? Because we're over here talking about is it easier or is it harder to have friends? Like you said, right? 20, 30 minutes ago, your elders told you, hey, be careful what you say to friends, versus family. What are we middle-aged people? Because 30 and 20, by the time you get to 30 is middle age. What are we middle-aged people still doing looking for friends? We should already have a family, a wife and a husband and children. We should be talking about what our children should be doing together, like playing together, hobbies together. Because believe it or not, coming back to Igbo society, African society, you're supposed to do stuff together, and there's a time for everything. So when all the kids are breastfeeding, that's the time for all those kids to breastfeed. Next, when the kids start going to school, all these kids got to go to school. So when the kids get to the point where it's time for them to start graduating, all of them graduate. When it's time to get married, all of them get married. When it's time for them to have children, all of them have children, like as a generation, as a class, as an age group. Then guess what? And when it's time to die, it's time for all of them to die. But I did skip one step. And when those kids have their children, right, and they graduate school, guess what? All the cousins are hearing from their parents. Buka is an engineer. Wando is a lawyer. These are my actual family members, Ikechukwu is a RN, And then it's like, what are you? What are you, Chris? What are you, Christopher? Mr. NWA? You want to be a rapper? That's what the Asian communities do. You want to be a rapper, right? You want to be, you want to be a rapper. But your cousin's an engineer, the other one's a doctor, the other one. So you get to compare and rank and rate. And anything that's not measured, right, can't be corrected. You have to be able to measure. You have to be able to compare and contrast. Our women don't like that. That's one of the things the other thing too. They don't like you going against the grain, and they don't like to be compared and contrasted, or the other word, which is critiqued. But you can't have this situation if you don't have structure and hierarchy. Like in my family, I'm sorry. I'll just finish. In my family, I'm the oldest in my family. I'm the oldest male in my dad's house. However, the oldest male in my dad's house, like his father's house, is my cousin Oli. If my cousin Oli, he say one thing, I say another thing, right? I have the right to challenge him. Like, hey, this is how my family would go. But if my cousin Oli requests for my audience, tells me to come, I'm gonna come hear him, and I'm going to respect him, and he's gonna be the one who brings me and the greater group of cousins together. And I'm not gonna disrespect him unless it is specifically for the livelihood of my father's legacy. But when it comes to my father's legacy, he is our leader. And there's another leader above him and another leader above him that we can all trace back all the way to 5, 6, 700 years ago. You know, when we talk about Mansa Musa, we know what we were doing when he was alive in 1300. We know exactly what we were doing. And we could tell you what town, what everything is going on. And when you have structure and lineage like that, that's when you start to really grow, you know? And so we're not supposed to be talking about, can we still make friends? Talking about friends on Call of Duty. You want a friend? No, go study. Go study. That's what we used to be told all the time as kids. You want to make friends? Go study go read your book, you know? But yeah, let me be quiet.
But that's the difference between what you saying now. I look at, because I remember when we first started talking, you know, even offline, you was like, you have a good father. Like, I look at my family structure and everything like that. I don't know if I have family members watching this, but like I told you, I didn't have the best childhood. And my especially on my dad's side, that family is taught from the floor up. And even from my grandfather, I don't know what his father was like. But from my grandfather, which is my dad's dad, and then my dad, it wasn't anything that I could fall back on. So I'm actually still finding my way now as an adult to just, you know, do the best that I can do. I didn't have that guidance growing up, and it's not isolated to me. And some people have it even worse. You know, throw in being assaulted, you know, essayed as a kid, you know, and it's just a lot that goes on with Black people in the U.S. that's different from immigrants, for instance, and you can't keep using excuses. But I don't know. I'm still at the persuasion that I would like to think, if you know better, you would do better. But I mean, it's really no excuse, you know, for how things are. But I look at my dad, for instance. He didn't have any guidance, so he didn't even really do the best that he could. But he didn't have that guidance. I can't be mad at him as a man, you know. But I would say that's another difference, you know, when we talk about the immigrants, like Black immigrants and African Americans. Because you do, even though you are American, you're African American, but I'm pretty sure you identify as a Nigerian man before you identify.
I actually identify as African American because
Okay.
I don't like identifying as Nigerian. I identify as an Igbo man when it comes to Nigeria. I'm an Igbo man, and that's a different thing. But I do identify as an African American because guess what? When they call me the N word, or speaking of our women are only people who've called me the N word since middle school. When they call me the N, the last time a Black man called me an N word was middle school, and I've corrected 2 Black women this week, and I've asked them, please do not call me the N word. Don't say nigga da. Don't do that.
I understand. I understand it can be different contexts, but I understand that's a no-go for you.
At first, it can be playful, like nigga, please, but it definitely goes into the disrespect, and it's really a toss-up. And these 2 last ones, disrespectful. You know, especially if you get to let's make the clear line of the disrespect being shut up, N-word. If your woman said that, there is no more respect in that situation. And our women have to respect us. So you cannot say shut up, N-word at ever in your life if you're a black woman. And if that's the case, you really need to go read some Rosa Parks books, some Harriet Tubman books. If you think that that's appropriate for you to tell your counterpart, the man who look like you, who's supposed to think the best for you, who's supposed to protect you, and you say shut up, N-word after everything we've gone through, and you're a feminist, you have lost your mind. You have lost your mind. And there is not a single white woman that was lynched, and you're a feminist, and you think that men are oppressing you. Where was Rosa Parks coming from? Where was she coming from when she refused to stand up? Why was she so tired? She was coming from work, because our women have always had to work. They were in the fields picking the cotton with us. The only thing I will accept is that, yes, they have never been directly under us. That's about it. Outside of that, there should be no black woman who can open her mouth and say she's a feminist. And if you look at the African diaspora, Africans have always valued education for man and woman. It's Europeans who say that man's best friend is a dog. Hippocrates said that love between man and woman is mental illness. Not Dangote.
You mean this? Yeah.
Dangote didn't say that. Dangote is the richest black man, by the way. Not Mansa Musa, which is the richest black man of all time. We never said no foolishness like that. We never oppressed our women. That's why our women can speak loud. Even if in a polygamous relationship, our women are strong and vicious. But they know that they are strong and vicious for us, not against us. So yeah, moving on. Hey, I did, it was actually very hard to have that conversation and oppose you when it came to your dad. Because I really did have to step on, because I knew it was a very sensitive topic for me to straight up be like, your dad's a good guy.
That's what you said. Yeah, that's what you. I think that's what you told me offline. You was like, you have a good dad or whatever.
Yeah, because look, everybody think. See, that's what's so sad. We don't know what men look like. A man is. Exactly. You're not supposed to be. A man's breast does not produce milk, so it's not supposed to be for comfort. As long as you're, it don't matter if you talk to your dad every day. It don't matter if you're dad and you go fishing, like they show on TV, where the dad and son going hunting all the time or whatever. It don't matter. Yeah, as long as you have respect for your father, literally, that's it. As long as you respect your dad, regardless of it don't matter if you like him. But if you respect your dad, he did a good job. Because if you respect your dad, then you respect society. If you're not in jail, if you're not in prison, or have never gone to prison, your dad did a good job. Your dad did a good job. Because the homes where the father are not in the lives of these children, those are the homes reporting the highest likelihood of going to jail. So that's a very good way to rate if your dad did a good job. It's not that y'all got a secret handshake or y'all building a tree house.
Yeah.
Now, if he was allowed to be,
that's a good way of looking at it.
Now, if he was allowed to be more of a father to you because the mom didn't use the system against them, the same system that they're quick to be like, the white man is against us and we were oppressed and this and that. And if they didn't use it against the father in 2023 going into 2024, then he had an opportunity to be there. See, a father is supposed to be able to tell his wife, sit down and be quiet, and she listen, and not take it as an attack, an assault, an attack on her honor. A woman's place is not to be talking about you've attacked my how do you say it? So like me and you, right? There's certain things I can say or do to you where you feel that I've disrespected you. Yes. A woman shouldn't be talking about if I respected or not respected you. The two things that really blow my mind today
is that women always talk about we have to do something so the man respects us. What is it for us to respect you for? It's not that this. It's not the respect. That word respect shouldn't be the thing we tag a woman with. It's not. We don't respect you so that we come in and take care of you. We don't. We don't like we go to work, right? You don't respect your supervisor so that you can come and work so that he makes money and lives a nice house while he gives you a few dollars. That's not it. Women should be talking about that he appreciates me or enjoys my company or we're fighting hard so that he knows I'm here to support him, not respect him. And then the second thing is why all these girls got dogs? Like I said a few minutes ago, I thought dog was man's best friend. Why are these girls over here getting dogs? I mean, the answer is because
they be
they
male
ate.
dogs too. They be male
They be
dogs
male
too.
dogs. And I'm trying to
Yes.
date you, and the male dog is already put. You have a problem with me saying sit down and be quiet. And you. I need to say that one more time. A woman should be able to receive sit down and be quiet from her husband, not be offended. You have a problem with that, but you don't have a problem with your male dog humping on your leg, peeing around your bed, because that's how they mark their territory. So they pee around the perimeter of your bed. And then when I come in and hang out with you, we try to kick it, watch some Netflix. We can't even get to the chill because your dog is already chilling on my leg. He humping and thrusting all up on my ankles and the back of my kneecap. And then you wonder why I don't come back again. You wonder why you single. But see, we already know why they get the dogs. It's two things. It's majority two things. One, that's their first sign that their body and their mind tell them that, hey, I'm supposed to be caring and looking after. Well, not looking after. That's a man's job. I'm supposed to be caring and nurturing something. And then the second one is, unfortunately, I think the byproduct of feminism, which is saying, hey, I want to be able to tell this thing to sit down and shut up. Just like I'm saying a woman should be able to listen. Like if I tell a girl, be quiet, sit down, she should be able to take it as an offense. See, if you tell me, a grown man, to sit down and shut up, it is my nature to stand up and fight you. It is not a woman's nature to do that. A woman's nature is to sit down and be quiet. And the reason why she can't do that is because she has not downloaded our programming. A woman listens to somebody. Now the question is it you or is
King
it your
Jesus.
opponent?
King Jesus. King Jesus. Let me
King
stop, let me
Jesus.
stop.
No, you're right. No, that's absolutely correct. Who comes first? Woman or
But
child?
usually religion. Well, according to the Bible, is so what are you referencing? What are you referencing?
So this is a practice I do all the time with people. It allows me to analyze and understand who you are and maybe where I need to, like we're talking about with friends. This all started from our conversation with friends. We need to all understand how somebody moves before you can even engage the invitation of somebody being your friend. So this is something I developed to really understand what you are and how you view society. So I asked three main questions. Who comes first? Man, woman or child? Like who is more essential? Woman or child? And the child is not 14 or older, but not your breastfeeding. This is a 10 to 12-year-old child. Boy or girl, doesn't matter at this moment. So woman or child, who comes first? Woman is like 35 years old, not 80, not 90, because 80 and 90 is a child again.
Yeah, if I was a father, I would say the child. But you asked me this before offline.
Yeah, I
Something
did.
like this.
So who comes first, woman or child? If you're no, answer as you, because women answer differently for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at it. I look at it from the perspective if I was a father, the child would come first.
Okay. And again, the answer is not wrong or right. Then next, who comes first? Who's more essential? Is really what I mean. Who's more essential? So you said child. All right. What about man and child? Which one's more essential, man or child?
For the I still say the child.
Okay. And then what's more essential, God or child?
I don't believe in God, but the child.
So when you do that, you've enslaved the entire community. You've enslaved the entire community.
Okay, I see though, because because a child does need to be chastised. Is that what you're getting to? Um, are you
No,
going to a deeper philosophy with that, or are you saying? Can you explain how it
so
would lead
so
to
I
enslavement?
will. You said, but the last thing you said is which one, child or God? You said child.
Yeah, I said child because I don't believe in God.
I,
So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was off. No, you didn't enslave the entire community. You're good. What you created is a group of people who gonna give their environment and the people around them a hard time, and that's what you find in places like Haiti. That's what you find in places like that, where it's their children with no God fighting to live. That's what you find there. If you had said God, yeah, you've enslaved the whole community. Um,
yeah, because that's basically today's society, and I mean,
today,
in especially any Western adjacent and Western countries now. But I would say no, because a lot of Western countries now. I'm not going to say a lot of Western countries, because a lot of Western countries are Catholic in the Western Hemisphere. Catholicism is the major religion, but in the United States, in Canada, it's more secular. In other words,
today's society would be a little bit different. We don't have, so it would be Nat Turner. Nat Turner would be what you answered. Child, 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 child. That's Nat Turner. That's something more like Nat Turner. Um, Today's society is predominantly women choosing women, and so that's how women normally
he
answer.
took,
Women and child.
he took,
W-
yeah.
Women, they're gonna say women and child. They're gonna say woman. You would think when I ask women these questions, and I say woman and child, with what we hear today, you would think women would pick child. No, women pick women. Women and man, women. Women and God, God. That's when you enslave the entire society. Because
Yeah.
you can't do anything with man, so you kill him and you kill the boy. Then what happens is you train the woman. Now, when the woman is carrying that baby of the man you killed, that baby will, left alone, become that man. He'll be lawless, savage. But savage is not a bad thing. Savage means he wants to control and bend his environment. So when he realizes what is happening to him and the people trying to oppress him, he will naturally go against them. That's why you have to kill the man. But see, the thing is, when you get the woman, then as she's carrying this baby for 9 months, she's smacking the baby, smacking her stomach. Every time the baby kicks, she smacks the stomach. She smacks the stomach. And then as that baby's growing up, she's always in the baby's ear. Now don't do that. Now don't, Master don't like that. Master don't like that. Now it's evolved to N-word, you ain't shit. N-word, stop. N-word, shut up. N-word, sit down.
So, quick question. So let's go back, because it's okay that you're talking about something different, because I'm gonna put timestamps throughout the video. But we've never met in person, but I have communicated with you electronically or virtually, and through radio signals, telephone, stuff like that. So we haven't met in person. So what would you say? What would you say has kept you in contact with me this long? It's been almost a year that I've known you virtually. I never met you in person. So, and we have
purely
these
was
conversations.
purely what's kept me in contact with you for so long is I see you trying to do something and I want to help you out. And the way that you need help is by wanting me to come on the live and talk. And I don't think that's why I say if you have any topic, I'll help. I'll do it for free. You know, I know I haven't been on in a few months now, it's because I've been working myself to death. I literally work over 100 hours right now. Um,
Okay.
but I've been because I want to be up. I don't care if you get to 100,000 million views. I mean, like subscribers. I want you to. I don't care if in the future you have better talking people, but if this is what it takes to spend an hour with you to do, why not? And that's why I'm here. And you know, and luckily you've taken some value from it because I seem to be a little extreme. And so hopefully a lot of people click on that to tell me to shut up. You know, you dumb, you
Yeah,
don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
waiting to see. I'm waiting to see how the replay is going to be when because I'm gonna definitely highlight some parts of it. So this is almost as juicy as the flat Earth video.
Make sure to highlight the N word sit down, and the woman should be able to. A man should be able to tell his woman to sit down and be quiet, and she not be talking about my respect or her ego and self esteem being destroyed. That has nothing to do with a woman's ego and self esteem and all that. She shouldn't feel that at all. She should not feel that
Yeah.
at all. That's a very masculine thing, where a man will be ready to fight when he's told to
Yeah.
do that.
So hopefully we do meet up in person with the
Oh, we will.
within the yeah. But
It'll be.
can you elaborate? Say again.
I'm listening.
Yeah, can you elaborate? Okay, so I remember you told me too. This will be the second story of, and I don't know if it's the same lady, but this will be the second story that I've heard you say that you someone. I think no, it was your sister. Your sister. Something had happened with the guy. He had deleted himself, and or he didn't even. It maybe it was something that was an error in his ways or something. You made that known, and your sister stopped talking to you for so many days or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that, and then you
she's
all.
still not. Yeah, she's still not talking to me. So it wasn't that he deleted himself.
Okay.
He's a Diablo like me. Diablo means the eldest male, and he came to this country to study, and and then he went to swimming with some people. Next, you know, he's found 2 3 days later deceased, and they think that so he jumped off the highest cliff where there were signs saying danger, turn around, don't go here. His mama said he can't swim on TV or something like that, so he can't swim, and it's only him, the only black person there, so I can relate to a lot of these things, except I can swim. And then two, I went to an all white college, basically PWI, so I'm usually the black token friend and stuff like that. So I can really relate. And also, obviously, I'm the Diabalo, I'm the Nigerian. I immigrated here, all these different things. So I know what he's thinking and going through. And so I told my sister the unfiltered thing that she needs to know. Now, she doesn't respect me. She doesn't respect me. That's why she can go all these months without talking to me. But it's fine because she's my sister. Because she's my sister, she has a level of disrespect that she can have. If she was my wife, that's absolutely unacceptable. But not only is she my sister, but she's my younger sister. So I have to like coach her and, slowly get her up and going so that she's able to get the same kind of information that she needs from another man who should be her husband and be able to sit down and be quiet. You understand? So anyways, to tell you more about that story, so I asked her a few questions. I said, when they did the forensics, because this guy jumped in and they didn't find him for like 2 3 days. And so when they did the forensics, I said, hey, was there any duct tape around his wrist? She said no. I said, any rope burn? She said no. Any like DNA, like teeth, nail missing or something under his finger, under his nails? She said no. I said, did he come back intoxicated? Like, was there high alcohol level? She said no. So the only thing now is like they had a knife to his back, and then for some reason he couldn't yell, "Hey, they got a knife on my back," or they like walked him up there forcefully, or maybe he stood too close to the edge and they pushed him. And so what I try to say, because I mean, the point really isn't like they. I just didn't want her. I just didn't want her pushing that these guys murdered this man because she's gonna create unnecessary enemies. She's really a bystander. It's really he she say because she wasn't there. So I said a couple of things. For example, I said, well, if it was reversed and it was a group of black people and there was one white guy and he was found like that, they would have them all on the TV calling them monkey and gorilla. That's one, you know. Then the next thing I told her was that he came to this country to study, and he shouldn't be out there, especially if he can't swim. And there was a shallow end where the general public could swim and mess around in the water, and then there's this giant cliff that had signs that said "turn around," and she kept saying he was so smart, so educated, and that's why I was hinting at she doesn't. Oh, I did more than hint, and she didn't respect me because she and my I'm not gonna say the other one does, but you know, she's talking about how smart he is, how this and that. Dude, I've accomplished a lot in my life, and only one sister has ever acknowledged me. And it's fine because it's sibling rivalry, you know, and stuff like that. But it's like you're boasting about this dude. Here I am, the same guy you're boasting about, and I'm 6, 7 years older than that guy. I've survived. I live by myself at all times. I went through all those, like, you know, like that's the girl who passed out, you know? That there's a girl who passed out. What do? You know, do you hang around? Do you try to pick her up or whatever? Or do you walk away? Like, I don't, you know, I'm just saying, like random college scenarios, you know, the DW, I never did a DUI, but I've been around those kind of situations, you know, and I had to assess and figure out, you know, triangle, square, R1, R1. So I'm telling her exactly what I did in order to survive and be where I am today. You know, and it's not just this situation. I talked to him about real estate. I talked to him about stocks. I talked to him about credit cards, 401ks. They never read or really check or whatever. They want to reinvent the entire wheel. A lot of it is sibling rivalry, but now a lot of it started to become feminism because the couple of times I do talk to them, they say stuff like, oh, women are the most domestic abused people. And I actually wanted to say this to you when you were talking about 20 minutes ago. We talking about so children can be victims of, you know, being touched on. Well, guess what? Who do you think is more likely going to touch on a child? The child's father or the mama's new boyfriend? Who's going to be more naturally attracted and have no guilt and conscience? And for sure, when that little girl starts growing up and going through puberty and starting to look good, and mama's not around, who, you know? So why not stay with your man the father who has the most interest in the children you created? So we're creating opportunities for our children to be, I don't know if I can say the M word, molested. They're creating opportunities for our kids to be in danger by having children and having a random man that you haven't vetted. You didn't get your brother, your husband to vet him, or not husband, well, ex-husband, to vet and trust that this kid's supposed to be around. You know, like how women always be up in arms talking about, you got a random woman around my kids, right? They don't give any opportunity. Huh?
I just saw a video on TikTok about that. Somebody was doing a reaction to the baby father wanted to see his kid, but the baby mother wouldn't let the baby father see the kid because he had a girl in the car. And granted, according to what he was saying, he couldn't drive or anything for whatever reason.
I mean, but is he supposed to live by himself for the rest of his life?
Yeah. Well, he helped get the kid, so yeah.
She's no longer with him, so
another thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another thing I was going to say, I'm sorry for cutting because this is really juicy what you're talking about. Not for drama purposes or whatever, but with the other friend that you were saying that was who was a girl that was cool with you. Because I mean, I would like to delve into your mind a little bit, but you would I'm thinking about it now. So you mentioned that you mentioned a friend that was a platonic relationship between you and a girl. But would you say you have any guy friends as an adult, or made any guy friends?
We're talking about the girl like in the beginning of my career working.
Yeah, I want you to elaborate on that too with the Bill Cosby thing when you said something about Bill Cosby. And but I wanted to just dwell a little bit too, kind of pry your mind a little bit, if you don't mind me
About guy
asking.
friends.
Do you have guy friends?
Okay, I guess I'll work backwards. Only
Yeah,
guy
because
friends I have make money with me. If we're not
okay,
making money, we're not friends.
okay.
Only female friends I have, we having sex. We're not making sex, we not friends.
So yeah, we was talking about that in the last live. So you have the well, we didn't talk too much in depth, but we briefly talked about it, about how um I'm at the persuasion that a heterosexual guy and a woman cannot truly be friends.
Every
It's not
single one
gonna
of my female
it's not gonna be
friends,
even.
every single one of my female friends, I'm either having relations with or we've had relations, and she has upgraded into my best friend. Every single
Okay,
one.
yeah, yeah. So that's the caveat, not something that's genuine, that has not something like you met this girl off the street, you found that you had similar interests and stuff like that, and y'all hang out, go out like on a bro and sis date, not a
Well,
date, but like just hanging out.
I mean, there's so many angles of that. Like, first of all, I'm just trying to look for my wife. Guess what? I need resources to do that. So I don't got time to go hang out with my sis. My sis. I need to be working more hours. Second of all, if sh the likelihood of that being like that is very low. The more general population of girls that you hanging out with, when you when you are when you and her going to get coffee, most likely you're gonna have to buy that coffee for her, even though she's your sis. Most of these
Yeah.
guys who are out genuinely with their sis is in the friend zone with a girl. There's plenty of that going on. I just accepted that I'm not in your friend zone. I'm not gonna buy you no coffee, and I'm too busy working. And so look, this is what happens. This what happens too. Because I'm a man and you're a woman. Because I'm a man, you're a woman, and some pop off at our bro sis hangout. Now I have to give you the kind of protection that is seen in a relationship to marriage. I have to potentially risk my life because you're a woman. You're the weaker so-called vessel. So I have to now protect you. So why risk my life when Jeff, me and you go out and we bro and bro, what's that? What's that club? The boys club or so. Where you mentor a boy or something, and the girls. Anyways,
Boys and girls club.
yeah, we're in the boys and girls club where one of us mentoring the other one, and we just go get some ice cream, and something pop off,
Yeah.
Jeff, and the guy run up on me first because I happen to be closer. I'm swinging, but if the guy run up on you because you're closer, you swinging, and and guess what? Guess what? If something pop off, me and you gonna look at each other for a moment, and at that moment, you and I understand what's about to happen. Either we gonna beat his ass or we gonna run. You see? But for a girl, you gotta when y'all make that eye contact, her eye contact comes back as what you gonna do? What you gonna do, N word? What you gonna do? So that's what I'm saying. So that's why all of my female friends that I do hang out with, because I have a couple, and I love them to death. But you see, there's two parts of it. First part is like I said, I've had relations with them. I've had relations with them, and I will protect them. They're not gonna get beat up because these are an extension my wives. And then two, when you're the first with a woman, That's why body count is important. When you're the first with a woman, she holds on to you. You have seen her most intimate, and her in the most intimate and sensitive, or like most, what's that word? When you're very open and vulnerable. You've
Vulnerable.
seen her the most vulnerable moment. Yeah. So I'm gonna protect my female friends that are still around because I'm there first. If I'm not there first, they're second. And it's like they give me wife benefits, if that makes sense. They look after me, they call me, they cook for me. If I'm like going through something emotionally, they naturally feed into me. They make me feel like a man. They are encouraging, you see? So they give me the benefit a woman would give,
Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting dynamic because
No, yeah.
that's very interesting. I never heard that before. Now I have heard this one guy. I follow this one guy on YouTube. He talks about he doesn't hang around guys either. He anybody that he hangs around is bitches. That's the only thing he
Well,
hangs around. That's the
guys,
only thing.
I think girls motivate a guy because only a woman will make a guy get out of his bed at 3 a.m. and drive across the state in hope, not promise, in hope of getting some cat. Now, when it comes to men, it's good to run in a pack. You don't want to be a lone wolf if you can help it. I'm a lone wolf, unfortunately, because my ideas are so extreme or different that unfortunately I have to just keep moving until I become successful. Because by becoming successful, then my thoughts were also correct. So, for example, these thoughts on men and women, when I show that I have a wife or two wives and I have kids and we are financially stable, people will then be like, oh, okay, we're going to tune in. And then my thoughts on finance and stuff like that, then they'll tune in. But ideally, you want to move together.
Yeah, which you probably don't care what I think anyway, but I personally don't. I don't see anything particularly wrong with what you're saying. I hope I don't bite myself in the foot with these stupid people that might. Well, all of y'all appreciated your comments. Anything you have to say, feel free. But I don't necessarily have a problem with what you say. I can see why other people might have a problem. I'm open-minded, so I'm not. I don't have a dog in the fight. That's not necessarily my approach, but it's refreshing to hear somebody like that. Hear that type of talking point. It's funny because I'm gonna have this. Like you say, once you have, you're pretty much saying like, people are gonna have. You're saying what you're saying. People that you have the naysayers. But after a while, when you actually, with what you're saying and stuff comes to fruition, people are going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, so something he was saying was right,
And then they'll come.
Yeah, ideally, you'll replicate what you did. Replicate what you did.
Well, ideally, you'll become the alpha, or you'll be the alpha. But
But do you think it's plausible in the United States society? And then from what I see in particularly I can say Nigeria. Of course, I'm not from Nigeria, but from what I see over there, the women are being liberated too. They're so Western adjacent,
You mean the women are being enslaved? What can you liberate? Where can you liberate a person who's already butt naked, no shoes, no food, no water? Because that's what we think of them in America. What liberation are you? You trying to liberate them from this life because they're already starving to death?
No, I'm talking about the average, I guess, middle class or working class Nigerian.
No, I know what you're saying. I'm just applying the African booty scratcher stereotypes and views that I know that people apply to Africans. We all live in a hut.
Well, you should know me. I'm cultured.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so in America, and especially the Black community, we all live in huts. We all butt naked, booty scratchers. So what is there to liberate our women from? They're already naked. They're already starving. They don't got no clean water. So what, you gonna liberate them from this life? So I would say it's more like enslavement.
No, what I'm saying is that, you know, of
No,
course,
I'm
in the
not talking
United
about you.
States. Okay.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just playing. I'm doing a play on words. So yes, they are trying to enslave our women, and by doing the way they want to do is enslave their mind. Like I have to have a back and forth with my mom. Like, hey, don't wear a wig. Stop wearing it. I don't like it. I don't know any man that like it. Please stop. And she'll just
And your
keep on
mom,
going talking about it's a women do it. It's something that my mom even did it, and I'm like, Mom, stop doing it. Just like I told you, I think I told you one time. She always wondered because I was dating a Chinese white woman about 2 years ago. She said at one moment, you chose her over us. Yeah, because she's nice to me. She treats me good. She
yeah,
cares. I don't want to be in a contentious relationship with people. I've asked my mom, because the wig thing, that's just a part of it. And I said, Mom, of all my sisters here, which one of them should I marry? One, is big, 300 pounds. The other one's mean as hell. The other two have no respect. Which one of these that all wear wigs, except for, no, I take that back. They don't all wear wigs. I'll be very honest with you. My sisters are trying. They're trying because I'm always in their ear. They don't all wear wigs, actually. I take that one back. But which one of these should I marry? They tried to do a couple of arranged marriages to me. And like one girl, she was studying to become a medical doctor. And I've known her dad. I've known her dad all my life. That's how these arranged marriages work. Because we've known each other all of our lives. It's basically like a child exchange program. Because
yeah.
you've known me all my life, so we just exchanging children, except we're putting it in the same family now. So we've known each other all my life. And this girl is talking about like our first conversation, texting. She's talking about and she brought this up. She's talking about how she's not gonna be in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. And this is not 1950. And I was thinking to myself, what? 1950? What? And I asked her, what do you know
Was
about
she born here?
1950?
Was she born
Huh?
here? Was she born here or in
Uh,
Nigeria?
I'm not sure actually, but let's assume here.
Okay.
But I knew her parents like in Nigeria. Like I was young and old enough for that. But she's probably she's probably 23 now. Then she was 21. But yeah, it's just like, wow. What do you know about 1950? What do you think was going on in 1950? Like, Jeff, these feminists have brainwashed our women to think that women went through the civil rights movement.
Yeah, I
But
know you sent me a video and you gave me some commentary about that.
yeah, and like I
Yeah.
said an hour ago, not a
When
single
you look
white
at
woman got lynched.
Yeah, when you look at it, I know Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm not sure if you follow him. He always cites or quotes saying that the civil rights movement was hijacked by uh, sex and sexual orientation.
So I hate being in the same conversation with that man because I really don't agree with him. But we talk
So you
about
don't
similar
He's a
things.
Pan-African. He's a Pan-Africanist.
Oh, I guess I'm a Pan Africanist too, so I guess we are similar. I hate to say that one or two things he said really turned me the wrong way, but I just hate the man should go volunteer to take care of baby mama's children. I mean, okay, let's quickly just touch this real quick. Because I know women don't understand. So young men, do you understand that men are territorial? If you see a woman with children, those children belong to somebody. And if you are sneaking into their house or at their house, clapping them cheeks, and that man comes over, he is liable to shoot and kill you. Be careful. Men are territorial. He will see red and he won't stop until it's done. I have a friend right now. I talked to him earlier today. Since you like juicy conversation, let me tell you about his story. This shit was hilarious. When we were in college, he started talking to some girl who worked at the you know how at colleges you have like a subway and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So she was working at a subway at the school, and turns out she got 4 kids, and she was giving him that good sloppy. So he was in love. And they were in the movie theater doing what they do. So one day he finally go over to her house, and he ended up like LeBron James. He ended up talking about, I am the GOAT. I am Michael Jordan. He is dribbling them cheeks. Not clapping. Dribbling them cheeks. And you know how they say, oh, we slept together, and you reply, oh, we didn't sleep together. We didn't do much sleeping. He was tearing that thing up. And he said finally passed out. And he felt next thing you know, he jolted up. And his body was hurting. But he jolted up because he was tired. And he felt like he didn't even sleep for like maybe 10 minutes. And he said he heard it again. I said, heard what? He said, it was a do at the door. And this is at 4 a.m. And he heard, hey, I know you in there. And when he said that, he then realized that wasn't at the front door. This man was banging at the bedroom window. Do. Hey, I know you in there. I see you. I see your reflection. Yo. So the girl gets up. She's like, let's just say his name's Clarence. Clarence, what you doing here? You know? She's like, I know you got a man in there. His car is parked down the street. I know that car. That car keep being here at the same time, the same day, every week. It's always a Friday and a Saturday night. Oh, my Lord. Joy, because I almost said his name. Let's just call him Joy. Joy. This man said he almost passed out because he was sick. So look, she's like, I'm gonna open the window. You can climb through. And he's thinking to himself, open the window. And for sure, this baby mama opens the window, and Joy is sitting booty naked on that bed. And he just roll over and slide under the bed. And the man crawling through, and he's in the room. And this man's butt booty naked under the bed. He said that floor was so cold. He said, I don't know if it was the situation or the real floor, but it was, in the middle of, how it gets cold up here. So anyways, so the man's going through the closet, going through everything. And he even looked under the bed, but he never turned on the lights. She's like, see, I told you there's nobody here. Now get out. And this man climbed back out that same window. This is what people are trying to volunteer for. So look, 7 a.m. rolled by, and my friend, I'm gonna stop saying partially his name before I accidentally say his name. My friend, he's packed up, he's wearing clothes, and he's trying to get out of there. And so he hugs her goodbye, kisses on the cheek, and he waves and he starts going. Run. As he's like waving, like walking backwards, running past the girl is one of those 4 kids. It's a little boy, runs past her into the yard and goes, Daddy, it's him. He's him. He's right there. Yo, this man jumped out the bushes, and starts chasing my friend. My friend runs all the way down the block, and now they're running around like the ring of cars. I guess the guy didn't know which car was his car for sure. And he finally jumps. I lied. He did know. I forgot. I almost forgot this part. He jumps into the car, right? This is some everybody hates Chris shit right here. He jumps into the car and he's trying to drive off. Not only did he hit the car behind him, he hits the car in front of him because they all parallel park. As he's trying to like drive off, like he's down the road, he realized he can't even see. This man stuck a whole pack of bologna on his windshield, and it wasn't scraping off from the thing because it was frozen. And then when he finally got to school, back to school, a week, because we went to a different type of school, so he couldn't use his car for another week. So when he finally got back to his car, he realized, like, this is 6 days later, he realizes that this man has scraped all his paint off. Like, this man was writing, he thought he was Kanye West. He wrote Jesus Saves and shit like that on his car. So this is what people, you try taking the guy to court and stuff like that, try to get him something. But, I mean, nothing came out of it. He just had a damaged car. And the girl, by the way, she was always nonchalant. That's what always pissed me off about the situation. And so that's what people want to sign up for, Hey, that's a real story from one of my closest friends from college that I talked to today. And we've got more stories too. Like, this man just bought a girl $2,000 worth of dogs because she peer pressured them and other stuff like that. And every day I talk to him like, hey, you gotta stop. You gotta stop this simping. You got simping in your DNA. And I am the close. Look, they say that you are the sum of the 5 closest people you hang out with. And I said, I don't want your simpage to rub off on me, because I'm a nice guy. I really am a nice guy. But ain't no way I'm gonna start buying $2,000 worth of dog for nobody because they flick their hair, said some toxic shit like, well, if you don't got the money, just say so. And I just pulled my pocketbook and just write $2K just because you said, if you don't got the money, just say so. What? Yeah, so, but people need to really be careful,
Yeah. But yeah, that's an interesting take. Say again?
Oh, nothing. I just keep remembering something I wanted to say, but we haven't had the opportunity for me to bring it back up.
Oh, I was going to ask you too now about the girl that was your friend, and you talked about Bill Cosby.
Oh, yeah. In fact, that's about to be another story, and I gotta be careful how I say it, because basically, it's gonna be two girls in this story.
So you know the lingo, right? So you can say the acronyms, but I'm not monetized on this channel, so it don't really matter. But I don't want the channel to get taken down at the infancy stage, at least. I don't want, because you can get a strike. You get 3 strikes and you're out. So
you're out. No problem.
Like when it comes to Bill Cosby, it's essay, grape, stuff like that.
I don't even say it like that. Don't worry. No problem. So, starting off where we left off with that girl, for people like, well, let me just give an update. Me and her were the bestest of friends. We made working together more enjoyable for everybody. We were just cool. Then the Bill Cosby came up. I had no idea. This is like 2016. No. Yeah. This is like 2016. This is almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, his I know everybody probably know, but he went into hot water back in 2014, doing some of the protests and stuff.
So yeah, you want me to touch on that?
Yeah,
I can touch on that. So really, that and Bill Cosby gave a profound speech. I think he called it like the cornbread speech or something like that, where he said that there's a man down the street right there, and he's trying to say something, but we can't understand him. He's saying, "What you gonna do?" Like, yeah, whoa, yo, what's up? Well, yeah, you what? Woo. We can't understand him, and he's got his pants down to his ankles, and that's not the uniform a pilot of an airship flies. That's not uniform a doctor wears, And he's shooting and killing his neighbor because of the cornbread he got in his back pocket. That's literally the speech. And especially, I guess, black women hated that. So after that, I think that's when black people turned their back on Bill. But they forget that when Bill was doing the Bill Cosby show, because dude, after this whole situation, and I finally stood on my own 2 feet, and I said, no, this is not acceptable. I did research. At that time, I only knew Bill Cosby donated over $100 million to HBCUs, and he had the Bill Cosby show. Now I know he was trying to apparently buy NBC or whatever. I don't really know how realistic that was. I never saw like an actual check or contract. But what I do know is that Bill Cosby, when he was doing the Bill Cosby show in the 1970s, was posting videos, creating videos about African art, how it was stolen, was posting videos showing classrooms where black people would say, I'm black and I'm proud. Basically brainwashing our children to love themselves. He was always an activist. I mean, everybody coming out from the 60s was an activist. I'm an activist. And all I did was watch hundreds of hours of Malcolm X videos on replay. I mean, I did more than that, obviously, but still, like, I love Muhammad Ali as well. Those are my 2 major role models. And then I loved Martin Luther King in his late era stages. That's when he started saying some stuff that made sense to me. Up to that point, it didn't make no sense. Like Malcolm said, he had hundreds of thousands of us walking in between the legs of 2 dead presidents, singing "We Shall Overcome." Anyways, so, but at the end, he said that telling a black man to pull himself up by his bootstrap is not sincere when the man don't even own boots, talk less of shoestrings. When he started getting to that point, that's when I was like, all right, man, you're talking about some stuff I can understand. Because preservation of life don't mean you got to get killed first just for somebody to then start to respect you. Anyway, so moving on. So Bill Cosby started getting into heat after he made that famous speech. So for anybody who doesn't know that speech, they should go listen to it. It's a really good speech. He makes some great points. Because he's saying that people are killing each other over Pepsi bottles and cornbread. And they're talking about, yo, woo, wow, what's up, wow, yeah, zuzuzah. That's not the language of a doctor. That's not the uniform of a doctor. So after that, that's when he really started to get into some major trouble. Well, then you get to my situation where apparently he had SA 50 women. And I just like can never... Over 80. Yeah, that's hard work. So you telling me that he's on Jeff Dahmer? He's on some Dahmer stuff? He just SAing people and then hiding them under his cupboards? How do you SA 80 plus people and not a single one want to say nothing? That don't make sense to me. Yeah. I just can't. Okay, I can see this.
A lot of people you had that Me Too movement. So, but a lot of people, the argument against that, I'm not trying to debate you or anything, but a lot of the people, they argue because he had so much power and influence. I also gave people a side eye too, because he was, obviously African-American, but I guess, So
here's the thing. Hmm?
Yeah, go
ahead. Here's the thing about the Me Too movement that I don't like. I'm going to just quickly say this. So Me Too movement says my body, my choice. Okay. What they're really trying to say is they have no. So I think I told you this the other day, my comments. So Me Too movement is saying basically this. It's saying basically this, that I can have as much. I can pop my thing as much as I want, whatever I want. Right? Yeah. But at the same time, if you just whisper or say, hey, you look good and I feel uncomfortable, then it's assault. It's harassment. How can that both live in the same thing? It don't make no sense. I mean, when you think of, like, it's drilled into us so much that now it makes sense, but it's actually 2 extremes. Are you actually a Muslim where you want to cover yourself and obey God and be a decent woman and want people to respect that they shouldn't be approaching you and trying to do things with you and call out your body, or are you a streetwalker that want to pop her, my neck, my back, my this, that song? Which one is it that you are you? And the truth in it is you're a creep and I'm a Muslim if you're ugly or broke. Because these girls are only religious when you got money. And then the other one is, if you fine, you 6 foot plus, and you got money, and you Bill Cosby, then I'm gonna be one of the 80.
I'm looking at an article right now. I'm looking at an article right now that was dated last month, and it says even though he was indicted and whatnot, but they overturned his conviction. So if I recall right, if someone's if a court overturns your conviction, that's basically like it's null and void. And I'm right.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter for black people, because even if they say he's innocent,
I know his reputation is tarnished, but
yeah, because in the mind of the average black person, regardless if you tell, especially a black woman, regardless if you tell these people that he is innocent, they're still gonna say that he's guilty and he did it. But before we go there, because I am going to talk about that, I want to wrap up that last comment about which one is it? Are you a streetwalker or are you a Muslim woman trying to cover yourself? Now I know these are two extreme things, but I'm trying to draw a picture here, right? A picture's worth 1,000 words. Okay, then we move into two different places. Abortions. I don't know if I can say that word. Can I say that word?
Yeah, I don't see nothing. I don't think there's nothing wrong with saying that.
So we move into abortions, right? The problem with abortions is that when you talk about my body, my choice, and people want to say, "Oh, you could have a little still." There are some medical procedures that are considered an abortion, and so we need to allow abortion in order to do that. I start getting real sleepy. See, the thing about abortions is this: people don't even realize, but for the first time, the United States government did something to protect its people. First of all, European culture is 2 kids and a dog. They're barely replacing each other. Second of all, right, because that's where the protection comes from. They don't want to die out. Second, because realistically, black and is Latino, we populate much more than they do. It's just that right now we're killing ourselves, unfortunately. And it shows that the more money you make, the more likely it is for you to want to go have an abortion. So if you make 33% of women, right, you're more likely going to have an abortion. Think about it. You went to college, you have a student debt of $50K, you pay you're working, you get $4,000, you pay $500 to your student loans, you got to get a car, so you pay another $500. That's $1,000 right there. So you got $3K to work with, right? This is all after taxes. And then you got to have a house, because women buy houses. Men don't buy houses until we have a family and need to buy a house. So now you only got so your mortgage is about $2,000, or your rent is $2,000, because rent up here in the DMV, because that's what I'm basing this on, is anywhere between $1,500 to $3,000. So let's just say it's $2,000. So you're at $3,000. So you don't have $1,000 to spend now. So that $1,000 is for you to go eat out, because you don't cook, DoorDash and Uber, and buy whatever it is you want to buy on Amazon. So let's put an actual number on having a baby, one child. I think $700 is fair. It costs $700 a month to take care of a child. Granted, right, there's much to it, because childcare up here is $2,000. Down south is $1,000, because up here you're looking at $436 per week. This is confirmed by my single mother friends, because many women that I now know who are not my friends, but they're lingering around, are single mothers. I know more single mothers than I know single women without children. They have confirmed to me we're looking at like $436 a week. Unless they have a voucher, then it's like $100 a week. So, but we're not even going to add that. Let's just say it costs $700 to take care of a kid. So you're talking about $500 student loan payment that you got paid back. $500 car, that's $1,000. Then you're talking about a $2,000 mortgage or rent. So that's $3,000. And you're talking about $3,700. So where's the other $300? The other $300 is food. So you're talking about poverty level. So no, you're not going to do that. Instead, you're going to have an abortion. And then the last thing I want to really say about that point about having the kids and stuff, then I got one more thing to say about it is people don't even realize it too. If abortion becomes legal on the federal level, and you're a strong, independent woman or whatnot, right? The government will, and you become pregnant, and let's say you love your husband or you love your boyfriend, because it's not husband. Let's say you love your boyfriend, but the government says you have to have this abortion because we're going to war. So get rid of the kid Friday, get ready to go to war Monday. You know, which it's so again, the government is actually trying to protect the woman by saying that maybe we should just at least keep this on a state level. And then the last thing I want to say, moving away from abortion now, is the thing about my body, my choice, is this concept of consent. Consent goes back to, are you a Muslim? Or, Muslim isn't covering yourself up, or are you a streetwalker? You're a Muslim if he's ugly and he don't got what you want, like money and height, but you're a streetwalker if he isn't, and you trying to be one of his 3 baby mamas. Okay, well, guess what? Consent, they're trying to argue consent within marriage. So then when you get to marriage, right, the marriage is supposed to be the consent, but they want to be in the marriage and still say that, or still potentially be able to say that you raped them while, that you SA them while they were in the marriage. They want to be able to say that. But the marriage is the thing. Men marry for sex, consistent sex, good sex, and the ability to produce children with that sex. And hence why if a woman that's your wife goes outside, has a kid with a random Joe, that kid belongs to you. And if y'all separate, you'll be paying the child support on some other man's kid. Those are how a lot of these laws in these states are written. So she wants to be in the relationship and say that she doesn't consent or not consent, have that debate with you, then starve you of sex years at a time. We're talking about, it's very common for people in marriages. Well, it's not. I'm not going to say common. I don't know how common or not common, but it's been brought up many times that spouses don't live in the same room, don't sleep together in the same bed. 2, several spouses I've worked with have told me that they haven't had sex with their husband in months, if not a year or so. And then 2, they still require monogamy. They still want to be able to hang over. They might divorce you if you go get another woman or you got a side woman. But sex is very necessary for a man. It's very needed. So they want to be in a relationship, say consent, require monogamy, then abuse you by not giving you sex. That don't make no sense. Yeah. Anyways, but if you still have time, we could talk about that the Bill Cosby thing. So and that girl.
Yeah, well, how did that play out? And then
you keep giggling. I don't know why you giggling.
No, because
you love it. I think you love when I say some crazy shit, some crazy stuff, and people actively try to punish me by not being my friend or something.
I honestly don't know, because are you talking about in relation to this video or just in general from what
just in general? But when I say some stuff that people don't like, because I know there are a lot of stuff I say that you be like, they not gonna like that.
Yeah. And I was, when you was telling me some stuff, I was like, you should try Nigeria, if you want to find a woman. But actually, I don't know. I mean, based on what I have been seeing, I don't think that's a good option either. You might need to go to Asia.
No, I have a better chance to go Ethiopian, maybe South African, and then Asia, and then Europe, actually. Europe, like we're talking about
Germany, maybe
Ukraine.
Germany. Uh,
Uh, yeah.
you you sure
I'd
about
say Ukraine
Ukraine?
and
I heard.
Polish. Huh?
Okay, I heard they. I mean, of course, I
You
don't know
said maybe
much
they don't
about
like us.
Poland. I don't know much about Poland, but I didn't think Ukraine was friendly towards blacks.
They're gonna be friendly today because they're refugees and they need a warm bed and a warm meal. Okay, okay. They gonna be very friendly because they don't got too much to be holding on to. I think they
Yeah,
gonna adjust real nice to fried chicken, cornbread, and some Kool-Aid really quick. so,
but I know if you were to go to Germany, you probably would do good in Germany, man. Your skin complexion, those German women, they love the chocolate.
you know that one song Kanye West made, "Niggas in Paris," because niggas are in Paris. So I would do very well in France too.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, can you elaborate about the girl?
yeah, so that just came out, and I just spoke up against her, and it was, I mean, I didn't speak up against her. I just said because she's my friend. I just said, I don't really know if I trust or believe
And,
that.
and,
Like, I
and you
don't.
would
It, don't-
and you would think by y'all being friends, or I don't know how long you've been friends, like it would just be a disagreement. It wouldn't be that harsh where they wouldn't have any dealings with you again or something like that. So you don't. I
yeah,
mean, well, I haven't met
it
you
was
in
very
person, but I don't
unforgiving.
think you're a person. Huh?
Yeah, it was very unforgiving. She hasn't said a word to me today. I still follow
Yeah,
her on
I don't think you
Instagram, and
come
she
off
still
as an
follows me.
aggressive person. I don't think
Hmm?
you come off. I don't think your message and delivery would come off as abrasive. So I don't see what somebody would just be that
Yeah,
offended where they wouldn't want to talk to you again.
yeah, like how I approached you and your dad. I was very like, hey, I was very like,
But then
slowly
again,
like,
but
hey,
but
yeah.
then again, like I'm a person like this. Like I was telling the guy Ron, I think you remember Ron. As an adult, you really can't convince certain people of certain things. Most of the time, like even when I have these discussions, like the guy Aaron that time, it was no convincing of him. Even you, I don't think I could convince you that the Earth is an oblong spheroid. So it's no need in trying to argue that point. It's just like you
I
just
don't even know what oblong spirit would be, but
and you a STEM major. Let me stop. Let me stop.
just because you said
Oblong,
oblong spirit don't mean I'm gonna know what oblong. You mean oblong baguetta,
no, no, no,
ablumulagetta?
no.
Isn't that the brain of
Yeah,
the booty, the gluteus maximus?
no. Oblong spheroid is basically, so when you're saying something is oblong, that means it's irregular, and then a spheroid is the essence of a sphere or the likeness of a sphere.
Hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm an engineer. It's just that I don't know what that word is, but now I do.
But I think I mean like and to talk about that, it's just because like just because it's just like anything else. Just because you have had a certain level of education, not all education is the same. Not saying that not to denigrate what you have accomplished, but I come from an earth science background anyway, so I would know a lot more terms in relation to that than say
True,
what terms they have in electrical engineering or something like that. But
true. And
that's
have you
never here
seen
nor
that
there.
video? Have you seen that video where they've got like six panelists, and there's a lady who says she's a PhD, and they're trying to rate the IQs, and she talks down to that one guy, but turns out this guy who was only a high school graduate, but she was a PhD in nuclear science or something. Turns out he had a higher IQ than she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so it's very interesting. I think that
Yeah.
see the thing that makes me highly intelligent, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters that you go get a PhD and all that. Is that from a child, very small child? My dad enrolled me into chess, so I've been playing chess
Okay.
since I was like 2 years old, and so
So
it
yeah.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what language you speak. So oblongata, spherical, whatever. Once you
successfully translate that concept to me, then it's game on. Then I can say 1+1 = 2. Now, how I get that back to you, I wouldn't. That's another conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, the chess players are strategists. But the thing, I know this one guy. He taught me a little bit of how to play chess, but he looks at life as a game. So I think
yes.
he's a little deluded. I would say it's a fine line between reality and then what you perceive as reality. When it comes
So
to like being a chess game and everything being strategic, it's not necessarily like that cookie cutter. Well, chess is not cookie cutter because there's a lot of variables that go into that. But in terms of applying it into everyday life, where it's like somebody else is pulling the strings and stuff like that, I don't necessarily agree with that.
So I think that specifically women treat relationships like chess, right? And when it comes to life, I think life is definitely like chess, but it will be a combination of chess and checkers. And it's more so like there's a game called Go. I think it's Chinese, and it'll be more so like Go, right? And these
That's
games
with
can
the
be
that's with the little marbles, right? In the
yeah, yeah. Because in a small vacuum control space, like let's say work, and you trying to climb that ladder of work, that's where you can play the chess. And sometimes you got to go checkers, because in chess, in the beginning of the game in chess, you don't want to put certain pieces on the side of the board, you don't want to really put a knight on the side of the board, right?
yeah.
But with checkers, it's very acceptable to go to the sides of the board. However, and which is different from chess, you can go backwards with checkers. So that's acceptable for you to go backwards. Whereas chess, you have to, in a way, completely dedicate yourself until you can turn a pawn into a queen. But see, the thing about chess that's so beautiful is that women, like I said, they play a lot of chess, right, when relationships, because they're thinking we got to checkmate. And for some reason, they've made the family unit, especially the man, the enemy. They want to checkmate the man, but they say they're the queen. They can go here, 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 here. But see, the thing about being a queen is it can get destroyed just like any other piece on the board. Whereas if the man loses, the whole game is over. But the queen can definitely be replaced, and you can turn a Starbucks or McDonald's employee into a queen. And if the queen is so busy going up, down, left, right, diagonal, this and that, right? As in chasing after jobs, school, friendships, and whatnot, and not understanding that her goal is to make sure that the king wins. Even at times, shutting up and being quiet, sit down and be quiet. As in, put yourself out, sacrifice yourself so that we can get to that checkmate. Then, that's when you have to take the pawn and turn it into a queen and get you a Starbucks
Yeah,
girl.
I think I'll do a live where it's talking about relationships and what it means to be a man. I think that would be something good to talk like this. What you think?
Yeah,
And
that'd
then
be a
like,
big
because I
one.
really like your insight. I would like more about your insight to see how, because I have a different approach, but I would like to get an insight on your approach because to see see if it. So how has it worked out for you so far with your approach?
With women?
Say again.
Or what? With women or life?
With women. Well, both, yeah. Well, you
So,
already have demonstrated that you're. I remember we talked offline. So you're a successful young man. Um,
oh yeah, yeah. So,
so,
so this
but
is actually, yeah.
yeah,
So,
but
so this is
what about the actual relationship?
so this is actually perfect. Because I actually wanted to bring up this, and I said it before. And remember when I was saying I have female friends, but most, all of them, I've had relations with them, and so if you're a female friend and you're still here in my life, you and I probably have had relations,
and you funnel into me a very positive feminine energy, you know?
Got it,
And
got it, got it, got
and I wanted to say that you see how they say like guys can't be friends with girls? That's it right
it.
there. You can't just be friends. Well, guess what? If a girl gets a guy, she can't have any guy friends. Men and women are not
True.
equal. Whereas if I get a girl, my girlfriends, as in these friends of mine who are here, yes, my wife, or at the moment, let's say at the moment, girlfriend, y'all are all on equal footing. Because guess what? I've had girlfriends in the past where something happened and I needed help fixing up a home or something. They bailed on me. It was my girlfriend, as in like friend that's a girl, that drove hours to come help me paint and fix up stuff. You see? And so I have to communicate with girls that, hey, me and you are here explicitly, girlfriend, boyfriend, and potentially husband and wife. But, and these girls here, I'm not really trying to marry them, but understand that they do have some sort of status in my life, position, maybe they're like just a sub wife or something, but they're here and they're not going nowhere. Whereas for a girl in a guy situation, yeah, the girl no friend that's a guy or whatever, yeah, that don't
Yeah.
work out. And see what men don't understand about that, because women want to push that, no, we're equal. Da, da, da. See what happens when a guy that makes sure she doesn't cut off those friends, regardless if she does or doesn't. What you'll come to find out is 2, 3, 4 years will go by, and then she'll start texting that guy, that ex, and I bet she'll tell you she's never slept with him, but she has. And so that's why no matter if she goes years without ever speaking to him, she has some level of loyalty to that man. You see? And when y'all two divide and split, don't be surprised when you see her with that guy she says just a friend or the ex, and they never did nothing. Because that's how that works. So I just tell a girl that, hey, these girls right here, they have earned their position in my life, and I look after them. Now, we're not in a serious relationship, or she's not an official girlfriend or anything like that. And we're probably not ever going to be anything, but understand that this person right here, I recognize, cares about my livelihood. If I were to disappear today, she would come looking for me. And she's going to be here, okay? Now, that's going to be about it. But, if she visits, make sure to give her some food and stuff like that. But, yeah, don't be doing that snarky stuff. No, don't do that with her. No. You see? So I have to explain that. And see, and people will think, oh, that's unfair. But like I said, men and women, we're not the same. Because I spent a remarkable amount of resources and time and effort to get her point in that position. You see?
Oh
Girls don't
man,
do
so
that.
you didn't say that. Oh man, okay.
No,
Well, we can talk about this off. Yeah,
I mean,
we can talk about this.
for any relationship, when it comes to guy and girl, any relationship, a guy spent an amount of resources to have access to that girl, whatever level of access that was. Normally, it's not just you walked in the park for free. You see, for a friend who's my friends, like my female friends, there's only like 2 or 3 of them. For them to do what I said just now, drive hours to come help me, means I've put in so much time and effort and money into our relationship. So she's an appointed governor. You see what I say? Like she's a senator. You know how senators be in there for like 50 years? She's a senator.
Yeah.
She's gonna be here longer than the presidency. When that girl that I gave a shot divorces me, leaves, she gonna be here to make sure I'm okay. Now, why her and I not together? That's for her and I to know. Maybe she's have a different orientation, or maybe she's living her life, but understand that she's here. And so that's, I think, the main difference. So you were asking me how does that have worked out for me and the girls? Um, I don't think how I think is the problem for girls. I think the problem is what every other guy goes through, which is all the girls want the one type of guy. I'm not over 6 foot tall. I'm dark, but I'm not tall. What they say, dark, tall, and dark, or
The
tall, dark, and
six, the
handsome.
six, the six, the six, the three sixes,
Yeah, I got the 6
6 inches,
figures.
6 feet, and the
I,
six
I,
figures. And
I got,
then there's this, yeah.
yeah, I got the
And then
six.
of course,
I'm listening.
yeah, and then of course, really, and they argue that white men are the prime token or
Nah,
whatever, and then
they don't.
black men are second.
Are you
Dark
talking?
skinned black men are.
You talking about black men? I mean, black women.
Yeah,
You talking?
well, for dating opportunities. I don't know though because
Oh
I haven't really checked it out, but I'm looking. I'm just going by what I have seen and
no,
stuff.
no.
Like,
I thought you meant. I thought you meant black women were saying that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, black men are exotic. You see, and we're genetically superior to all races in this world. Samoans come in close, but they don't have that variety like we do as well, right? They just come big and tall and strong, but they don't also come like Usain Bolt. Um, so so yeah, we're exotic and we're always desired. We're a niche. We're a niche, but we're the most superior niche. Asians are a niche, like exotic niche. Like you provide that squinty eye. You see what I'm saying? Spanish can be a niche, right? But the blacks are the most professional, like superior niche. Then white is seen as standard. Yeah, I know that. All races want to date white. All Asian, Spanish, they all want to be with white. But then you'll have that girl in those races who are naturally attracted to darker skinned people. Like I've met Peruvian people, or different types of people, like Mexican people, or like Chinese, who naturally just like my skin tone. You see, and they think it's exotic, but their parents push them to make sure to stay white or their own people. You see. So what you have to do is you have to then prove their society, their parents, that you're good by showing that you are that good black person, which is dumb. And so that's where me and those kind of people will have a conflict because I'm not here to play that I'm that good white black person. I'm not gonna be
yeah,
posting you all over my socials talking about happy wife, happy life. You are the token of my heart. But behind closed doors, and you definitely will know, because I'll tell you every day that you are very beautiful. I love you. You're a great woman. Yeah, I will. If your tire go bad, I'm telling my supervisor a lie just to come change your tire, stuff like that. I'm a very good boyfriend. Um, and I think, yeah, I fail. I mean, when it comes to attracting women, I have a hard time just like everybody else. But I think I attract more women than the average guy. I really do. I got, I've got half of the things. The things I don't have is a six pack. I don't got the 6 feet. But if a girl give me a chance, I'ma knock her loose. And see, I got the 6 figures, but I don't. The only time I actually spent money on women, like how you would think a girl would want, it was when I was terribly heartbroken after my last relationship. And looking back, I feel dirty and used because I spent hundreds on dollars on girls who just sat there and put on this facade of their high classness on my dime. Without me, they wouldn't be able to afford that restaurant, you know. And so now,
yeah.
looking back over the last year and a half of me recovering from my heartbreak, I feel dirty. I feel what a girl would feel after she realized she shouldn't have been popping that thing. Talking about her body, her choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Well,
think I'm successful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys, I'm going to cut this video. I think we really, this was definitely a good live. We talked about varying topics. I mean, the topic was making friends as an adult. We talked about that, but it also was an open discussion. I wish I could have had some more people join. But anyway, we're going to cut this short, and I want to thank Buka so much for his time. You're greatly appreciated. So stay tuned for some more content. Y'all stay tuned. Have a good one.